Hello, everyone, and welcome to my presentation on athletic compensation policy. Today, I will be going over how my policy that I've created can really help out the NIL and the transfer portal in NCAA sports, especially with basketball and football, but it could apply to all sports. First, I would like to introduce myself a little bit. My name is Connor Hayden. I have an undergraduate from William Patterson here in sports medicine, and I'm currently pursuing a track in athletic training. I am in my fifth year of the 3+2 program, and I used to play soccer here at William Patterson. So I've been around college sports for a while. I know what it's like, and I've seen NIL firsthand. So I have some ways that we can fix that. First, what is NIL? Name, image, likeliness. It is essentially where athletes can now make money from endorsements, signing shoe brands, engaging in commercial opportunities, and even monetizing your social media presence. Some of these athletes will post on, say, Instagram with a brand they really like and really support, and the brand will help them out and give them a little endorsement deal so then the athlete can also make some money along with the brand as well. So this policy was implemented back in 2021, and ever since then it has taken the college sports world by storm with a bunch of new rules and regulations. It is become quite a mess in a way. Some people would say otherwise, but most people would say it's kind of gone down a messy road. So here we have the famous Cooper Flag, currently in the NBA for the Dallas Mavericks. He just graduated from Duke University. While he was at Duke University, the brand New Balance decided to sign him on a shoe deal for $13 million on a multi-million-dollar contract. That is unheard of even for athletes in the NBA, in the NFL, and he's making more than most of those pro athletes, say, in the NFL or even soccer, honestly. Um, Cooper Flag has a social presence. He's always posting on social media these brands. He's one of the main images in NIL sports, or at least he was before he got drafted. So his contract is very important when it comes to NIL and how this all goes down. So for my policy proposal, I would do I would want to limit the amount of transfers for athletes. So as you can see here, after March Madness, a bunch of people transferred right after the tournament, especially in 2025, where they've had the most so far. And this is during the tournament. Even before the first round for some teams, because some teams didn't even make the tournament. But as you can see here, it gradually increased until 2025 and 2024, it shot up. So the first thing I would implement in my policy is to have 2 transfers per athlete and 1 transfer for athletes that have more than 2 already. So if they have more than 1 transfer before the rules implemented, then they can be granted 1 more. This does not apply to graduate school, so they will not get an extra one if they go to graduate school. Before the beginning of every season, they would sign a contract, kind of like how they sign a bunch of other, how you sign a bunch of other stuff in the beginning of the season, so just like concussion stuff, medical stuff. This contract would also be added on to that. Along with the limit to 2 transfers per athlete, I would have a financial advisor be hired at every college or university. Um, this is so that these kids can have a sense of help when it comes to money. A bunch of these kids are getting a lot of money, and they never touched money like this before, so they're going to need some help and some guidance in handling that. And I would say for the bigger schools, we would cap the NIL deal. A bunch of schools are making millions, a bunch of athletes are making more than some schools, and I think that spreading out the money between all the athletes and the whole college would be better fit for college sports now. So, say for the bigger schools like your Alabama, your Georgia, I would cap it off at 10 million. And then for the smaller schools, such as like Bucknell maybe, or an Ivy League school who have a lower football program or a lesser known football program, I would cap it at $5 million. So as you can see by this visual, football and basketball are big money getters in the world of sports. Everybody watches them. So for my rationale, this would fix the excessive use of transfers in sports in even any college setting. There are some athletes who have been in college for 6 years with 6 different colleges, and I think that's not very good for your education because at the end of the day, the students are here to learn first before they're an athlete. And I think that would mess up the curve. It could mess up a program if you're in a specific program for a degree, and it would just totally mess up with the social status with him, with any athlete. Um, the median salary for any workers in America is 48,060, and a financial advisor would help guide those athletes with this money because they've never seen something like this before. They never touched money like this before. So I think a financial advisor would help with that. So for my implementation and evaluation, I want to implement this policy as soon as possible, fall of 2025. I would want a financial advisor at every school before the fall sports start. Each advisor will talk to the students, the coaches, everyone to get on the same page so they know the regulations, the rules, so no one gets in any trouble. And like the transfers, they would sign a contract so they understand the rules and regulations. So they would sign a contract separately so they don't go over the amount of transfers and so they don't go over the amount of money that they can make. I just want to say thank you for listening to my presentation. I think these proposals and policies will lead the NIL and transfer portal into a good direction, and I hope to get this done soon. So thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.